Just for being awesome, you get 20% off your next purchase from AHG. Use code AHG20 off at checkout and you're good to go.
Okay, we're looking at the Beyerdynamic DT 990 headphones, and we're going to do an ear pad installation. This also applies to the DT 770 and the DT 880 headphones. Now we have your diaphragm here, or your speaker. We have a hair screen or a scrim that usually sits like this. This model has a plastic lock ring that actually locks down the scrim, which is different because there's other models that lock down the ear pad. So, and you have to line it up with certain plastic parts with the little gaps on here, and then you clip it in place type thing. And then the ear pad, you can see the skirting on the back. This skirting is meant to go around. Let me just get rid of this. This skirting is meant to go around the edges of the actual headphone frame here. Okay, removing the ear pads. Nice and simple. Just lift. You can see the skirting of the back of the ear pad is right here, and it's over the top of the frame of the headphone. All you're going to do is lift, put your finger inside here. You can see it's poking right there. Peel it away. Do that to the other side. Push up and peel it away. All done. Now, removing the lock ring that holds the scrim down, or the hair screen. You might need to do this, you might not. If you don't need to do it, I suggest don't do it. Just changing them to change them isn't worth it. The reason why is because you're going to have to use a knife or a screwdriver, and you're going to have to pry this off. It's not dangerous or anything, but if you don't got to do it, why bother? But I am going to show you how to do it. So, looking at the inside of the earphone, you can see there is a little plastic piece that is sticking outside of this lock ring, and it goes into the little cutout onto the headphone frame. You can't see it as effective. Oh, maybe you can. Right here, you can see that is a little bit of a gap. There's another one right there. There's another one right there. Though that's where the clips are that clip this plastic lock ring into the headphone frame. So when we use our knife, first of all, you can go in this way, but this knife is actually a bit too thick to get in there. So you could use something smaller, but what I do is I find the clip. So I can see here that this here, you can see that little gap right here. That is where one of the clips are. You have to put whatever it is you're using to pry this lock ring off, you have to do it from underneath one of the clips, otherwise it's not going to pop. So I'm going to put it in underneath here, and I'm going to push it till I feel it on the wall. Now, it's a safe spot because the wall is plastic, and just below the lock ring is also plastic. I'm not pushing on the actual speaker or anything like that. And then when I actually start to pry, I'm going to be pushing on here to pry it up. So let's see. Now you want to get right in the middle of this thing. Boom. You do need to put a little bit of force into it. Alright, installing the ear pads and the scrims. So we have our scrims / hair screens. We're going to do one at a time. So I'm just going to hold it like this. Gives me a good grip behind it. This is out of the way. I've extended the arms of the headphone fully so that it gives me a bit of space. This is not being bent or hurt, don't worry. It will all go back in place and not be damaged. So I'm going to put that in place right there. Now I need to get my lock ring, and I need to find this specific piece right here. You see that right there? And I'm going to line that up with this specific gap right there. So here we go, lining those up, and then you just push down. Okay, the ear pad. On the back of the ear pad we have a very tough skirting, and the skirting is a thick material, so it's quite hard, and it's when you go to install it on the headphones, you obviously have to wrap it around the outside of the frame here. So at first it's a bit easy, and as you get closer and closer it gets harder, and because it's a tough material it's not easy to manipulate. There's ways around that, but I'm going to show you how to do it just without doing anything really yet. So you're just going to hook that on the corner here. Let's zoom out here. So I'm just going to hook this on the corner right here, and I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to go underneath, and I'm just going to lift that on. Now my other hand needs to secure the part of the pad that's just getting put into place. So get that cord out of the way. Here we go. Now I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to go under, and I'm just going to lift up, and I'm going to push it over and keep pushing it over so that it hooks into place, like so. I need to rotate again, so I have to secure it, re-grip, and now I'm going to push, get that finger out of the way, push up and over, up and over, up and over, still. So now I'm at the very end here, and it's getting a bit tougher. So push up, keep doing the same thing, eventually it works. So that one is on. Right? Now, how we, if you try that, doesn't work, what you want to do is get the back of the ear pad, the skirting, grip it like this, and you're gonna pull out and stretch it, stretch, stretch. Give it some medium strength, stretching it out this way. Like this. You can even go like this. And now we'll try. So I'm going, oh, let's go, yep, I'm gonna go right here. Right there on the corner. Got most of that in already, good. And now I'm going to hold that with that hand, and I'm gonna go up and over. Still up and over is working, no problem. Let's get this out of the way. Up and over. Up and over. Still working. We're almost finished, we're right here now. Gonna grip that under it. I'm right in the skirting too. I'm not even in the ear pad at all, I'm just into the skirting, and I'm lifting the skirting up and over. Don't even touch the ear pad. There's no point in pushing into this like that. You go straight under the back so that your finger's like right there, like that. And it's in. Now, I managed to do that. I've done this quite a few times. It's not a problem for me. If you still have issues after you've tried stretching it, what you can do next is you can actually heat up the back of the pad. So you can take that ear pad, put it on top of a heat vent on your floor, put it on top of a radiator. You can even get a towel or a pillowcase, put it over top of the back of the ear pad, and use an iron and steam it. And then stretch it. You'll get more stretch out of it. And over time, the skirting will then shrink back into place over the headphone. So, numerous options, but try what you want. And, but yeah, that's it. Okay, so we've installed the original ear pads on these DT 990s. And basically, these ear pads are flat, so when you install them, it doesn't matter where they actually finish, because the whole thing's the same everywhere. Now, when you install an upgrade ear pad, like these angled ear pads from Accessory House, or our Omni ear pads from Accessory House, which are also slightly angled, or anyone else who sells an angled ear pad, you're going to need to do one more step, and that's basically just to rotate the ear pad into place. And what you want to look at is most of these ear pads that are going to be upgrades will have a stitching at the front, and you align that stitching with the front bolt on the yoke. So we'll just take a look here. This is the right side, so yeah, that'll be right. Installation of the ear pad is exactly the same as the original. It might be a little bit easier though, because usually the skirting on the back of these upgrade pads are not the same as the Beyerdynamic ones. They are a little bit more stretchy, As you can see, that went on really easy. So now we just look here. You can see that there's the stitching, here's the bolt, and all we're going to do is rotate that down. And that's the good thing about this style of headphone, or this model, these models, is that because the skirting fits over top of the actual headphone frame, you can easily just rotate it whenever you want, and that's aligned. So do that for both and you're done.